Yes, absolutely. And it will be relevant also, this conversation, to I think some of the topics we're going to cover about talc later on today. But asbestos is a mineral, and there are essentially 6 types of asbestos. The 2 most commercially available types are chrysotile and chrysotile. And tremolite is another type of asbestos fiber, but there are 6 of these fiber types that are classified as asbestos from a mineral standpoint. And the chrysotile asbestos mostly comes from Canada. Chrysotile asbestos comes from other parts of the world, Australia, Africa, other places. And both of them were used commercially in the United States. There is no government body that accepts the premise that chrysotile cannot cause mesothelioma. Every government agency in the United States and for the most part around the world has taken the position that chrysotile asbestos can also cause mesothelioma. But the asbestos industry in Canada, the lawyers that represent asbestos companies in the United States, have developed a series of literature claiming that chrysotile does not cause mesothelioma, and it's only these other types of fibers like chrysotile that can cause mesothelioma. And it is not something that they're generally successful winning on in a court case, because the evidence is so overwhelming that that's not the case. But they've spent a tremendous amount of time muddying up the waters, and from a regulatory perspective, have tried to prevent any regulation of chrysotile asbestos. And as you were mentioning, chrysotile is often contaminated with these other types of fibers, in part because asbestos is something that's mined out of the ground. And when it's mined, it's hard to just isolate a particular vein of mineral that would be all chrysotile. So much of the chrysotile is contaminated with things like tremolite, which is another asbestos fiber, and has a significant potency to it. So we deal with this all the time in our cases, and it's another example of how the industry has manipulated the science with respect to asbestos and try to allow the sale of chrysotile to continue. And as I mentioned, up until very, very recently, the Canadian government went along with this. And it wasn't until within the last couple of years, when there was a series of groundbreaking newspaper articles in some of the Canadian newspapers, and a number of scientists sort of broke ranks, that the Canadian government has finally come around to the position that chrysotile is dangerous and can cause mesothelioma in and of itself, even if it's not contaminated.